Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your mid-November reading. Thank you so much for your patience. And to those of you who celebrate it, happy Thanksgiving. So let's dive right in. Okay. So I've already shuffled and meditated on your sign, and I chose I drew a couple animal cards for you, and we'll start by reading those from the book, and then I'll give you my intuitive 2 cents on those. And this is just these animal cards are just a thematic energy to keep in mind as we move through this next week into December, and also to keep in mind as we move through the rest of the spread. So very, very interesting energy. You have the fish and the hawk. So let's see. Let's go ahead and read from the book. I'm in a different space right now, so I hope you can hear me and see me all right. And because I'm doing you guys last for the December readings, those might be a couple days late, but for the December readings, you will be first. All right, fish. So water and air, we're working with water and air here with fish. And also fish, that could be a Piscean energy. But it feels more so, I'm looking at a lot of water. Just a lot of emotional energy. And I want to just dive right in, but I'm already off and running. But it does feel like there's something circular and I just heard natural, very circular and very natural about this. Okay. But emotional, deeply emotional. So, fish, restless, excuse me, restless, change of focus, lost in the current. And this is the feeling that I'm sort of getting with this. The fish loves to be subsumed, I think. The fish loves to be subsumed in life's current. Nothing pleases it more than movement, and more movement. The roaming lifestyle of the fish may be exhilarating for a while, but usually leads to weariness and slippery relationships. With all the possibilities out there in the vast waters, the fish becomes lost without clear goals and intentions. Spend some time with the lunar forces, dear fish, as the peace and calm of the moon will soothe your soul. When in balance, adaptable, travels well. When out of balance, distracted, changes mind often. And to bring into balance, set a small goal and accomplish. Beautiful. Okay, the hawk. Here we go. The hawk. Watchful, all-seeing messenger of divinity. The sharp eyes of the hawk watch our every move. This keen-eyed bird has the ability to see every little detail as well as the bigger picture. When this card appears, fate has its eyes on you, and the winds are shifting. It is said that the hawk carries news upon its wings and is sent from divinity itself to deliver it. The message should not be taken lightly. Though it may seem small or insignificant, it will eventually redirect your course. When in balance, sees clearly, intuitive. When out of balance, sees too much, suspicious. To bring into balance, perspective shift. So that feels very strong as well. So it feels as though there could be some message of some kind, some sort of communication, some new information that triggers this change of perspective that is deeply important to this time in your life. to this, whatever it is you're moving through right now. And I do get the feeling that you're moving through something, sort of that sensation of feeling caught or lost in the current is coming up strong. And it's sort of, how do you navigate your way through that? Even how do you navigate your way through something, even when at times you feel you're in the dark, even at times when you feel you don't quite have an end point in sight. You're just trusting. You're trusting the flow. You're trusting the current that is ultimately carrying you. And I feel that the key to allowing to do this in a way that can give you peace, to sort of follow this current, is to keep your eye on the bigger picture. To really to keep your priorities in place. It really, I feel like we're looking at priorities. And if you sort of are clear about your priorities, and you have a perspective that is one that is supportive and in alignment with your values, you can move through what's known and what's unknown of this process, of this thing that you're in the midst of, more smoothly, more effortlessly, and with a greater sense of peace. And I feel with the fish, that's what we're really looking at. We're sort of looking at this desire for peace right now, this desire for, I just heard, continuity. So it does feel like this time for many of you can be one of uncertainty and challenge. But there is this support around you with the hawk. There is this guidance. There is this information. There is this reframing of something that catalyzes this reframing around this experience that will really, really, really be meaningful. So keep your ears open, keep your eyes open to those things that could help elevate your perspective around whatever it is you're moving through right now. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. Keep those in mind as we move through the rest of the spread. Okay, so here we go. The focal point of your reading is the Two of Pentacles, reversed, crossed by the Ace of Cups. Beautiful. Anchoring the spread, we have the Hanged Man. In the recent past, we have the Emperor reversed. Coming here into the near future, we have the Mother of Swords. And then crowning the spread, 4 cards wanted to come out. So we have the Father of Cups. This could be your very own energy here. A lot more water we're looking at. We have the Four of Swords. Next to the Four of Swords, we have the Two of Swords. So there's some sort of decision making. This is a consistent sort of decisions needing to be made. And then we have the Fool reversed. Very, very interesting. Okay. So in your general energy, also representing your general energy, we have death. So this is a time of change. This is a time of transformation. But this is definitely a time of change. Changing winds, as the Hawk card was referring to, and changing seasons of your life, in your life. So in the environment, we have the Daughter of Wands reversed. Feels like a very creative energy in your environment. And in Hopes and Fears, we have the Seven of Cups. And then in carrying us into December, we have the Seven of Wands. So 7 of Cups, 7 of Wands. Okay, then I chose one card from Colette Baron Reid's The Good Tarot. We have the King of Air. So I'm hearing decision point, decision point, decision point. And the Two of Pentacles reversed, we're sort of seeing that similar thing here of this looking for balance, this looking for steady ground. And this is crossed by this Ace of Cups. So this emotional energy, this deep emotional energy, as you're moving through the ebbs and flows of this, there is this there's water energy all around you. And and I get the feeling that there is almost this outpouring of, so there could feel to a degree like this, like you're just pouring it all out. You're pouring it all out. It's almost like there could be moments of feeling empty, of feeling like you don't have it to give. So there is just sort of one foot in front of the other. And I just heard catching that current, catching that current, letting that current carry you. So there is this feeling that, there is some weariness that's going on here with this, and it feels like most of all, it's emotional weariness. It's physical as well. We're looking at the Two of Pentacles, so we're dealing with that earth energy, that material energy, our physical energy, our physical, experience, crossed by this water energy, this Ace of Cups. So I do feel like physical tired exhaustion and weariness, and heaviness, and almost I just heard a limpness, so sort of feeling limp in the body. So just true tired exhaustion, and then there's this emotional depletion a bit. So anchoring the spread, we have the Hanged Man. So a lot of this is coming around this lack, this mystery, this not knowing, and then simultaneously from this card, I'm getting this feeling of constriction, this feeling of needing to break out. And around this feeling of breaking out, there seems to be a lot of clarity. We see the Hangman's eyes are just focused and bright and just, wide awake. And there's this sense of knowing what needs to be done. So in the past, there's this experience of knowing what needs to be done, but feeling constricted in some way. And even carrying us into the recent past, I'm sort of still feeling like there was a lot underground that now is now being cycled through. So this feels deeply seated, like whatever this is that you're moving through right now, I feel like it was a long time coming. It's very emotional. And it is this sort of breaking out. And part of with this breaking out energy, I feel that's carrying us into the near future, there is the Mother of Swords. So there is this decision making. There is a Mother of Swords, what I feel like she's saying as she's, flying into this spread. I feel like she is, she's solidifying some kind of decision. With swords, we're looking at this decision-making energy. We're looking at this sort of cutting away, this execution of what needs to take place, of what needs to be done. And then crowning the spread with the Father of Cups next to the Four of Swords. So we still sort of see these decisions hanging overhead. We see that there's this sense of needing to find clarity amidst some pressure, and making decisions while feeling some pressure. Because next to the Two of Swords, I'm feeling that we're really looking at some serious decision making. And also the sort of sloughing off of it feels almost like dead skin, or what is no longer serving you, what needs to be let go of. And it feels very compartmentalized. It feels very mental, and then it also feels very emotional. But so I feel by nature it's emotional. But you're approaching it in this very practical way. But you can feel it all in that heart space. You can feel it all in that heart space, and it feels as though you're doing The work is just sort of allowing yourself to experience that and move through it while keeping a clear head. And I just heard, and sticking to the point, sticking to the point. And whatever this is, I just heard putting your foot down. And I almost feel like this is oscillating between two different points of focus that is in your environment, is in your life right now. So there's this double-fistedness to sort of how you're having to, you're dealing with things on two fronts. It's like on two fronts right now. And so you're simultaneously having to sort of work with these two somewhat challenging energies, I'd say, and make decisions and make steps forward. And this is all, it's initiating this new beginning. And it feels like a very serious ending and then a new beginning. So, which are both alive in this Fool card. But with the Fool card reversed in particular, I'm feeling that this is something coming to a close. This is something that you're stepping away from as a means to step forward into this new beginning. And there's great, 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 great change all around you, it feels. It feels like it's truly this shedding of an old version of yourself. There's this true letting go. There is this releasing of that. And a lot of this emotional energy that we're seeing is this releasing of this old version that you've been, this old life that you have existed in and is part of. And this letting go of the parts and pieces that made up that old reality. And I am feeling in your general energy that there is a frailty to this. So it feels like this is a very delicate matter. A very delicate matter that you're moving through. And there is so much grace in this spread. There's so much grace, just sort of, it feels almost like this grace around you that's just looking to come and inhabit this space. So just call in that grace as much as you can. Just sort of open to it. So it is sort of this releasing, this letting go, this allowing, this surrendering to what this process is. Surrendering to the grace of it, I just heard. So in your environment, we have the Daughter of Wands reversed. And it feels like this sort of creative energy. There's something blossoming. There's something beginning to come into view. And it feels like it's almost these offerings coming forward that are these offerings coming forward as I just heard food for thought, and it feels creative, and it feels like it's speaking to potential for the future. So it's these little moments of inspiration that are impacting you, that it's almost like a premonition to a creativity that is manifesting, that will make itself born in the future. So there's this glimpse into your future with this. I feel like there is this new potential, this new possibility, this new creative work, this new creative venture, this new creativity, that although it feels there's a bareness or perhaps a sterility to your experience right now, there's so much fertility that you're getting little clues about here and there that is going to spring up in your future. So it's sort of this hopeful message saying, even if you feel, if you're feeling sort of empty and creatively spent right now, or unable to creatively express yourself in the way that you might like to, if it's just not there for you right now, don't worry. There is this beautiful creativity that's manifesting itself, that will come, that's just right around the bend, that's right around the corner for you. So in hopes and fears, we have the Seven of Cups, and this is speaking to options, a lot of options, and sort of that questioning of am I making the right decision? Am I here? Am I not making the right decision here? But most of all, I feel in alignment with this hot card, we're looking at perspective. So it's sort of, you know, this as you're sort of having to go through and make these choices and make these decisions and weigh different options and weigh different possibilities and sit in the unknown. We have the sun on one side and the moon on the other. So it's really just encouraging. It's like sort of saying, and we know this, that perspective is everything. So just being clear about those priorities and finding a perspective that supports and empowers you is so important. That is where you're going to get, you'll be able to tap into these untapped resources, these energy resources, which you need right now to continue moving forward. So in the way that is best for you, that you'd like to. So it's really tapping into these look like little wells of resources that you can tap into by changing your perspective. By finding a perspective that opens up, unlocks these little pockets of energy, of vitality, of life force. So carrying us into December here, we have the Seven of Wands, so Seven of Cups to Seven of Wands. And it feels as though there's an independent sort of standalone nature here. So it does feel like you are really showing up for something all the way. You're giving something your all. And there's also this glimmer of hope that I'm looking at. There's this new light. So it feels like there's this new, along with this perspective, there's this new light that is being shown on what you're moving through. There's this new look at it, I just heard. That is allowing you, that allows you, and this could be coming in from another, this perspective, this, again, sort of this message that helps to shed light on what was dark. So there's this greater clarity, there's this new information, and there's this new understanding and acceptance and surrendering and appreciation for what it is you're doing, for your work, whatever your work is right now, whatever that looks like. So it's really beautiful and it's profound. This feels very, very profound, like almost a profound aha moment, sort of a light bulb going off of, oh, this is what this means to me, and understanding sort of what this means to you in a whole new way. So the King of Air, which is typically the King of Swords, it feels like this very wise energy coming in, and it feels like, again, I'm hearing put your foot down. So there's this gaining greater clarity around whatever was, whatever decision sort of felt harsh. I feel that there's this stronghold to that. There's a determination around a decision that you make. There's this really, I just heard settling into it. And this deep allowing of however things unfold, so sort of allowing them to unfold as they unfold. So let's go into so much wisdom and precision. So let's read this from the book. This is to keep in mind at sort of looking at the entire spread and also heading into December. Here we go. King of Air. Intellectual authority. Reason over instinct. And we're seeing a lot of that. A lot of this reason over instinct here. Intellect over passion. Successful negotiation. Rules, laws. Truth is everything. I think before I act. I work the universal laws with clear intention. Do I see how the foundations of the past affect the present and future? So there's this looking at, there's this clarity of mind, there's this using your intellect even over your passion or sort of this emotional, your emotions, that's what you're experiencing in your heart space. There's really this using your intellect, and that's where compartmentalization feels like it's coming up strong for you. In order, that's in place so you can make these clear-minded decisions and take these clear-minded steps forward. So it is sort of a bit of head over heart energy here, head over heart. But the heart energy, it feels like by nature it's a heart, it's a matter of the heart. And I feel that you're not turning away from that. You're simply looking to lean more greatly on the practicality of what you know intellectually needs to happen. And then we have this, do I see how the foundations of the past affect the present and future? So there is this looking as there's this evaluation of what you've done in the past. Do you want to do it anymore? Like, I know I'm letting I don't want to do these questions about what you want to release from the past that hasn't brought you to a place that you feel fulfilled. And I feel like a lot of that is emotional fulfillment. And that lack of emotional fulfillment is being reflected back to your sort of between work and love, work and personal. I feel that there is this sense of dissatisfaction that you're trying to rectify. And that's a lot of what this process is about. This process, it feels very healing. It feels very, in a lot of ways, natural. So I feel like this is coming to an end of a natural cycle. And this change that you're immersed in at the moment, right before you step into the light, step into this new beginning. So it's a really beautiful, profound time, deeply emotional, very transitional, very temporary. There's a lot, it feels like you're being called on quite a bit, So just be kind and loving to yourself. Know that this is temporary. I feel that there is this energy, this new sense of empowerment, this greater sense of stability that you're coming into here over the next couple of months in particular. So, and then in December, there's a lot of beautiful energy coming in as well. So just for these couple of weeks here, just be loving with yourself, be kind, keep your ears open and your eyes open to those messages that could support this transformation of your perspective that will in turn unlock these great resources, these great pockets of energy for you, these great pockets of emotional energy, of new perspective. Okay, so I love you so much. I hope that this was helpful. Check out your rising sign and your moon sign. Again, thank you so much for your patience with this. I've had quite a busy month myself, so I love to do these videos for you all, and I get them out when I can. So thank you for your patience. I love you. Happy Thanksgiving for those of you who celebrate it. I'm sending you all of my gratitude, all of my love. I love you so much, and I will see you in December.